Really exciting stuff. It is our main event, and we throw it now to Lance Green.
Fight fans, we have come to the end of the line, and we find ourselves at the fight you have wanted all night. We welcome you to the legendary Cotton Eye Joe in Knoxville, Tennessee, where this professional lightweight battle is set for five-minute rounds, and it is for the Aries Fight Series Professional Lightweight title. Your referee, once the action begins, will be Big Luke Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Cotton Eye Joe, are you ready? Fight fans, your seat is no longer needed. This is your main event, and we are live! Introducing first, he's fighting out of the blue corner. He steps in the cage with a record of 3 wins, 1 loss. His height, 5 feet, 10 inches, and his weight, 156 pounds. He trains with Carolina Combat Sports, and he fights out of Charlotte, North Carolina. His name is the Phenom, Jonathan Martin. And his opponent across the cage and fighting out of the red corner. He steps in the cage tonight with a record of 6 wins, 1 loss. His height, 5 feet, 9 inches, and his weight, 155 pounds. He trains with Nashville MMA, and he fights out of Nashville, Tennessee. He is your reigning, your defending, your undisputed Aries lightweight champion, and his name is Pat Crumpton.
Woo, Pat Crumpton, Jonathan Martin, here we go.
This is a championship main event. And while we've got Trevor here, Trevor, you've been in some of these main events with gold on the line. What are these guys feeling right now?
A lot of emotions, you know. Sometimes people may be experiencing a form of tunnel vision, you know, but these guys have been around the game as long as they've been, you know, I expect them to, you know, come out firing and be full aware of their surroundings.
Well, regardless of how they're feeling, the bout's underway, and the title hangs in the balance here in round 1.
Oh,
nice side kick there from Martin.
Yeah, Jonathan Martin with a very sideways stance here. I like that. Pat Crumpton going for the clinch here.
It's going to make it hard for Crumpton to get a hold of him, but man, when Crumpton does get a hold of you, we've seen what he does.
Man, that's a high knee from Jonathan Martin. You know, one thing I've noticed about Pat Crumpton's fans are that they're usually the most vocal.
Oh, yeah. He's got a lot of support. And even if it isn't in numbers, just in energy, they're
yeah,
an amazing
absolutely
group.
right, yeah.
Trev, one thing that we noticed, especially in your most recent fight, digging underhooks and getting the guy off you, how hard is that to do?
Well, man, I was just caught up in the moment, you know. I kind of, I guess, threw my wrestling out the door for a little bit.
Well, if that's you throwing it out the door, then look out.
Yeah.
Martin right now is in a familiar spot, and a lot of Crumpton's opponents find themselves.
Yep, absolutely right. Yeah, Pat has the ability, even as a small frame, to be very smothering.
His physique, too, you can just tell. You know, when he gets a hold of you, he's going to have his way as far as where he wants to move you. The guy's in great shape. Nice job there by Martin, though, to threaten a Kimura and get to standing. Oh, nice head kick from Martin.
Oh, Martin going with that uppercut.
I like that, especially because you know Crumpton's coming in to lock up with you. Jonathan Martin.
Jonathan Martin's doing an exception,
Tough
keeping
guy.
him off of him.
Good distance, too.
I think that sideways stance, I don't know if it's something he's always employed, but that's going to help him.
I'm not sure, and I like him.
Oh,
nice.
I think it was the left hand there that might have done some damage to
Nice
the champ.
Kimura lock here from Jonathan Martin as he lets that go, but that was a great attempt here.
Man, I'm really digging this sidekick thing by
Me
Martin.
too, yeah.
It's got some power and it is quick.
Yeah, watch him switch stances here, too. I like that.
Shades of Wonder Boy.
And this is absolutely. And this is a tall guy for Pat Crumpton to be fighting and a hard guy to take down.
Yeah,
as you see that Kimura again.
Yeah, Martin's doing a good job of threatening the
man,
Kimura
that is tight.
right as Crumpton tries to lock his hands to secure a takedown, and it's been effective so far.
It is, yeah. Pat Crumpton, very, very strong guy. He's doing a good job on straightening that left arm, which is what you have to do, but that grip is still there for Jonathan Martin.
Nice elbow there from Martin.
Man, when Martin goes for that Kimura, he plays.
And it's strong.
He is not playing.
No, that is a strong guy.
He is violent with that thing.
And Jonathan Martin seems to be in incredible shape. I don't think he's dropped a sweat at all. It's like he's just getting warmed up right now.
At 155, these guys so lean, so strong.
See if we see him set that up again. He's diving for the underhook here on the left arm of Pat Crumpton.
And that elbow that Martin just landed was right in front of us. You could really hear the thud. Ooh!
Ooh, nice.
Oh, and that knee opened up an abrasion there on the champion's forehead.
He's doing really good with his frames here, not letting Pat do what he wants to do.
Martin's fighting the fight that he needs to fight. Not to say the word fight too many times, but man, he's doing what he needs to do against a guy like Crumpton. This is a good round here for the challenger.
Yeah, you can tell he's studied a lot of Crumpton's films and had worked on this position a lot. As Trevor said, this is really good framing from Martin.
Short elbow there from Martin again as Crumpton just elbows. Shades of Travis Brown. You know, Travis Brown popularized that technique, and you see it a lot now.
Yeah. See if he can get a takedown in the final 10 seconds of this first round, and I just don't see it happening. Pat Crumpton's got to start making a statement here in the second. Oh. I got to say, I think this was one of the first times I've seen Crumpton open up.
Yeah, this is the most adversity I've seen Crumpton ever face, to be honest with you. I'm really...
wow, that was such a good first round.
That was an amazing effort, yeah.
Jonathan Martin does not seem to be distressed, tired. You know, we don't see any heavy, shallow breathing from him.
He looks extremely composed right now.
Absolutely.
His gas tank looks fine.
Yeah, Crumpton's got a little blood. Cutman Mark Law is tending to some of the cuts, abrasions that were inflicted upon him in the first round. Hell of a round. To think, you know, it's a title fight, 5-round fight.
Absolutely. I'm so glad I'm cage side for this, man. This is just awesome.
Oh, well, Trevor, we're pretty thrilled to have you as well, you know. It is an Aries main event, an Aries title fight at 155, and we've got a hell of a war on our hands here. You'll love to see it.
Yes, sir.
If you were going to make any adjustments in the Crumpton corner, Trev, what do you think you're doing on this second round?
Folks, it's title time. Let's welcome these men into round number 2.
I would maybe try to get my jab pumping a little bit, start chopping the legs, trying to slow him down, and then maybe try to be more aggressive on not staying in the clinch so long, but breaking off and coming with short elbows or something, and then maybe re-engaging back in the clinch.
Yeah, that is one of the risks of that bladed sideways stance, is your leg is there to be chopped.
You know, Jonathan Martin seems to have a pretty good idea of what he needs to do to negate Pat's wrestling. You know, Pat's going to have to get his respect back, you know, land something heavy on the feet, and that way his wrestling will be a lot more effective. But
Houston, round one was a story of control from Crumpton versus the damage of
Yeah.
Martin. How do you think the judges are looking at
Well,
that?
that's what I was trying to think of. I think that Crumpton succeeded in one takedown. Is that right? I'm having a hard time remembering. This has been such a night of action. But regardless, Jonathan, I think the judges are leaning towards Jonathan that first round. I think I would have, especially towards the end of that first. Crumpton doing a good job.
Right
Yeah,
now,
he's doing a
but
good job on covering up. But I think that Jonathan is just a stronger punch. Longer reach, too.
Nice dig to the body. Nice dig to the body from Martin.
Jonathan's really got to get inside the pocket of Jonathan Martin, and that's not a spot anybody wants to be.
You know, I mentioned the layoff for Martin, and it looks like he's only continued to develop his skill set.
Yeah, he's got such a long reach, and Crumpton again trying to time that takedown.
Man, this place is packed tonight. Trev, you've packed a lot of fans into the Joe before. What do you think of the crowd this evening?
Man, they got it. They had a good turnout, man. I love a good Joe crowd, man. They're always rowdy.
There's nothing like it. It is, if you're a combat sports fan, it is one of the most unique experiences in sports.
Every time I turned around, I saw someone trying to get a picture with you. If you charge $1 a pick, you'd probably be $200 in this night.
I'd be able to eat for a little bit.
Absolutely. But this is such a good crowd, and we get to see so many of the same people every time. So many good fight fans are just coming no matter who's on the card, and a lot of people that are just loyal to their fighters. And this is just such a good platform for so many guys. And Jonathan Martin, Pat Crumpton, their futures are limitless for either of them. We see this Kimura set up again from Jonathan Martin. Let's see if he's got it this time.
And he uses it to balance. If he didn't have that, he probably would have ended up underneath. That was a really impressive technique.
Yeah, and I think it's just a very threatening position for Pat Crumpton, because Pat Crumpton doesn't want to complete that takedown if he's locked into that.
We hope all of the fans at home on Spectation Sports are enjoying the main event here of Aries Fight Series 15. I'm Dylan McCarthy. To my left, Houston Robertson. To his left, it is UFC star Trevor Peak. We are taking in this great action here. Champion Pat Crumpton facing some adversity from the challenger Jonathan Martin. If you're familiar here with Aries in the past year, Pat Crumpton has been dominant. So to see him with his hands full, this is really pretty interesting as we're in round 2 of 5. Nice knee from the challenger.
I don't think I've seen anybody with as high knees as Jonathan Martin has, and it's so well timed.
They are sneaky and they are dangerous.
Yep. Pat Crumpton's doing good on keeping the head in the jaw of Jonathan Martin, but anytime there's a bit of a slip, he's getting eaten with a knee.
Yeah, he's leaving a lot of space in between his body and Martin, and it's really, speaking from my own experiences, them knees can be absolutely brutal.
Yeah. And we see
right there's just like that one, man. You
those
wouldn't,
short ones.
to the normal eye, you're thinking that ain't really doing a whole lot, but when you're in there, you're like, God.
Saw Pat Crumpton with 2 foot stomps here, and I think he's doing everything he can to try to open up a situation where he could take down Jonathan Martin, but that's a tough bill to ask. This guy's tall, he's strong, and he has a lot of really good takedown defense.
Yeah, I think if Pat was having his way, he would have already had about 3, 4, 5 takedowns by now.
Oh, man, Jonathan is letting him rail out here.
Oh, man. This is a grueling pace here with 45 seconds left in round 2 of 5 for your Aries 155 title. Whoa!
Nice.
There was a wild scramble there for a moment.
Man, I feel like Jonathan Martin has done hours and hours and hours of cage work, for this fight, preparing on the wall. And him and his team have done an exceptionally good job.
Especially against an opponent like Crumpton, that is such a vital aspect. When you're facing a smothering wrestler, you got to be able to conduct yourself wisely in these situations.
Oh,
that left hand.
Stunning.
Dig to the body, knee to the head.
Man, oh, man. I saw
we
Jonathan
gotta
Martin
fight.
ask his corner how much time they told him, and Jonathan Martin is letting Pat Crumpton eat tonight. Wow, way to end a round 2.
A fresh coat on the crimson mask here for the champion. Look at that, the powerful left hand and then the dig to the body followed by a knee that opens up a cut on the champion.
I was watching this conversation that Jonathan Martin was having with his corner. I'm pretty sure he asked him how much time they have. They said 20, and he just let it fly, and that was a very smart move of him.
Jonathan Martin's doing better at digging into the body, and you can tell in between rounds here that it looks like Mr. Crumpton's cardio's wore down just a little bit more.
Well, you know, we're right around the corner from March Madness where buzzer beaters are abound. We got a man at the commentary table who hit a buzzer beater of his own last weekend here with 1 second left in round 1. That was really something. He was going for it right there at the end of round 2. But in all honesty, Jonathan Martin probably banked 2 rounds here in a title fight, guys. The champ is up against it right now.
Cotton Eye Joe, we're going into round number 3. The belt is on the line.
The cut man has the champion fixed up as well as he can. I feel like another shot or two and that thing's going to start leaking again.
You know, I'm not discounting Pat Crumpton at all coming to this 3rd round, but this is arguably the most tired I've seen him and the most damage I've seen him take.
Yeah, he looks like he's slowly. He looks like his gas tank's coming back though. He's a veteran, man.
He is. You're right.
You can't ever count him out. He's tough as nails. I mean, he's relentless, man.
Big experience edge for Crumpton too. This is his 9th pro fight. His opponent's here in his 5th.
Yeah, these frames that Jonathan Martin is doing against the head and neck seem kind of effortless for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's almost like as soon as they get here, he instinctively goes to the move that he needs to prevent any advancement from Crumpton.
And Crumpton doing a good job on keeping at least one underhook the whole time that he's got Martin in the cage, but still not as effective as he wants to be.
And just as I thought, the blood is flowing once again.
I would like to see Crumpton break off, fire, engage, break off, fire, engage, and just, you know, keep repeating that process till he gets some more respect. Because right now, I mean, Jonathan Martin's just got an answer for everything that Crumpton's throwing at him with his wrestling.
And going for the constant wearing on you, the constant takedown attempts, and then not getting them. That is just, it's got to be one of the most exhausting things in the sport.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, this is definitely wearing out Pat Crumpton a whole lot more than it is Jonathan Martin. You can just tell by watching him that Pat's having to work a lot harder here. Martin's just kind of hanging out and doing what he's got to do. Some nice little shots.
On a side note, Trevor, no hard feelings, you know, on your part. I think you would have racked up a bunch of Twisted TKO of the night titles. Like, we might be, thought I spoke it into existence. Martin's hunting for that KO.
Nice.
Crumpton with a steel jaw on him. I mean, he is taking some.
I was just going to mention, if you had a chance, as we get a takedown there from the challenger, you see these great this great hardware here, the Twisted TKO of the night and the proper 12 submission. You know, you probably would have had some of those Twisted TKO of the nights.
Oh, yeah.
If we had them back when you were here.
Oh, yeah, I wish they'd have had them, man. One of them would have been sweet. I like how Jonathan Martin, I like how he's landing big shots and then he's immediately engaging in the body lock. Because fighting a guy like Pat, you can't just get too top heavy and just swing for the fences, because he'll come straight under them punches. So I think Martin's doing an extremely well job of engaging the body lock before Crumpton is.
Pat's got a hell of a chin too. He's really stood up to some really heavy blows here that Martin has landed, and he's been there every step of the way.
Yeah, Pat's a dog, man. I thought for a good while me and him was going to end up fighting, but, you know.
Yeah, I saw that coming a couple times, I felt like.
That'd have been fun.
That would have been something.
Yeah, the fight he had with Logan Neal, very exciting fight, which is now on one of the reels for Spectation Sports through commercials, and that was a heck of a barn burner in Chattanooga. And I think that was Crumpton's maybe 4th or 5th fight, but a great fight for Crumpton.
Yeah, so dominant that night.
That was a fun fight to watch.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, gentlemen, I saw the long layoff for Martin, and I kind of remembered just how dominant and smothering Pat was in that bout, and I anticipated Pat was going to have the same level of, effortless success, but it has not necessarily gone that way. As you see, the challenger raining down blows here with 45 seconds left in the third. I think we're going to get this cut examined here. This is getting pretty...
Yep, it's getting pretty bad. Luke Wilson with another long professional call here, checking the eye of Pat Crumpton. There's a lot of blood going into the eye.
He's just got his war paint on. That boy's eye.
The beautiful new canvas here at Aries Fight Series is definitely getting broken in.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought I'd get some sympathy from Trevor Peak here, but...
this guy's you're barking up the wrong tree.
right. All right, we're back into it.
Oh, yeah, I'm all for the blood. Bring it on, fellas. We like it.
Jonathan Martin immediately going to the elbow to the face in the exact spot that he had cut Crumpton open for. Good technique there with 20 seconds remaining of the third round here.
Elbow. Man, he is so vicious at the end of the round, Jonathan Martin.
Jonathan Martin is doing good on hitting these blows and doing everything he can to make sure he's not sacrificing and end up in the submission here with 8 seconds to go in the third.
That's a good point. He's got to be careful here. Crumpton is very knowledgeable, very dangerous. There's the clacker.
Man, this is a good way to end this round for Jonathan Martin.
Yeah, that's 2 rounds in a row. He's really put a stamp on.
So you're in the corner of Pat Crumpton. What are you telling Pat here, Trevor?
Well, first of all, I'm trying to remind him how good of a fighter he is, and that we've been here before. Try to pick his spirits back up, and there's so much to this. It's a mental game, so a lot of times maybe fixing the fighter's mentality versus telling them a specific technique might be the route to go. You just you got to know your fighter and know their personality and just know what to say to them. I would like to see him break from the clinch and fire and then re-engage, like I was saying earlier, though, man. It's you can't do no damage if you're just pressed up against the cage.
Joe, you came for a battle. Well, you've got a war. Let's welcome these men into round number 4.
Championship rounds are all in front of us at this point.
You can 100% tell that we have 2 pros standing across from each other. These gentlemen have been here before. They're calm, they're cool, they're collected. It's just, you can tell the difference, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
100%. It's been a minute here since we've had a professional main event at the Joe. There's really nothing like it.
No, absolutely right. This has been one of the best cards I can remember in quite some time. Oh, Jonathan Martin, strong here. He's got an arm in, though. See what he does with that.
That's where all that blood and sweat makes it kind of tough to really lock up anything too tightly.
I'd like to also see Pat Crumpton whenever he's engaging in the striking to try to direct straights to the body. I know whenever Jonathan Martin is retreating and going side to side, he is standing extremely square, and Pat could do himself really well by throwing straights to the body, whether it be teep or punches, just whatever, or cut him off with leg kicks.
Yeah, Pat does have a great chomping ability on those leg kicks. He's such a strong guy, and it seems like so much of that power is in his legs, and the ability to keep someone like Jonathan Martin here. Jonathan, you see again with this Kimura.
It's really been one of the most effective defenses here to Pat's pressure and takedown attempts. It's just he goes right into that sub as soon as he feels threatened. It's really something to see. And the elbows and knees from the challenger Martin have just been so damaging. Oof.
Pat Crumpton doing good on, on getting that head out when it's in danger from Jonathan Martin and getting his head way up into the chin. But when he does, Jonathan Martin often puts him into this position and then throws some knees to the body and to the face, and those are becoming very damaging.
And Jonathan Martin's just staying focused. It seems like he's going to be doing what he came here to do as long as he doesn't, make a misstep or make a mistake.
I would like to see Pat, whenever he gets Martin bent over right here, maybe try to engage in a fish hook clinch and bend his head over, and then he could enforce some knees of his own to Martin's head if he would wait. But he's not engaging on the head at all.
Oh, there it is. He's been waiting for that.
Man, if you are not ready for that, that boy will take your arm home with him.
You know, it reminds me of his Connor Hodge. Sets that up a lot.
Yeah.
Well, at 2 minutes and about 15 seconds left in the fourth, the situation's getting a little bit dire here for the champion as Jonathan Martin is in half guard, and the last couple of rounds, at the end of the rounds, he's really opened up with the offense, and we're getting near that time where he lets a barrage fly.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is not a spot we've seen Crumpton here often, but again, veteran, knowing what his next move needs to be. Oh, those elbows are bad.
You could feel that.
You know, we don't see as many people set up those short elbows. You know, I think of John Jones, early Nate Diaz setting up those short elbows from the top, but we just don't see it very often.
Psychologically speaking, Trevor, when you've got your opponent cut as badly as Pat is cut right now, you've been in there and drawn some blood from your opponents. What does that do psychologically for you, the killer instinct?
I guess you feel something like a shark or something, man. But smell that blood, man, you got to attack.
Well, fitting with the shark analogy here, it is the championship rounds, what would be classified as deep water.
Oh man, Jonathan Martin establishing full mount here on Crumpton.
Yeah, Martin is the apex predator at this moment.
Luis, he is under the neck of Pat Crumpton. Doing a great job in that transition too. That is tight. Crumpton doing a good job of getting chest to chest. Smart move from him. 30 seconds remaining in this fourth round.
I'm not gonna lie. I wish there was more rounds of this fight. Wish there's about 3 or 4 more rounds after this last.
Oh
I felt that way between the Zoe Nowicki and Nakia Jackson fight. I could have gone 2-3 more rounds on that one as well.
Old time boxing here, 25 rounds. Let's go.
Yeah. Jonathan Martin doing a great job on that final round, smothering, just being a heavy blanket on Pat Crumpton.
I'll be honest with you, I'm a little bit stunned at the success, the continuous success that Martin has had in this fight. I was not expecting. He's in great shape. He looks the part. He made it to the title fight. Obviously, he's a deserving contender. He had the layoff, and he's just come out and he has put the pace on Pat Crumpton. And Pat, I mean, I don't know if Pat's lost a round in a really long time. I mean, we've seen his last 3 or 4 fights. Pat hasn't even been close to being in trouble. And Jonathan Martin has come out here and pretty much put his pedal on the gas for the duration of this bout. This has really been kind of shocking.
Pat Crumpton, though, a true warrior, man. He gets right up from that stool and he is ready to go. And I agree with Trevor. I could see a couple more rounds, and I think Pat Crumpton would be happy to take as many as you give him. This guy
no quit in him.
As tough as they come.
Part of a champion. Pat's got to be looking for a finish.
Another good entry for Pat Crumpton here. Jonathan Martin doing a good job again on defending that takedown. These guys both exchanging good, strong knees here.
unusual position there by Martin, and he's looking for an inside leg trip. Oh.
I'm loving the crowd.
Some of the Crumpton fans imploring their fighter to disengage and go for broke, but
that's a that's a very armchair quarterback thing to say. Jonathan Martin is not the kind of guy I am getting in line to get in the center of this ring and trade blows with.
Trevor, can you hear fans in the heat of battle?
You can. You can. Sometimes more so than others, but I know there was when I fought Greg Hawkins, every time I got hit, Greg would clap me, I could hear the crowd go, ooh. And I was like, I'm fixing to show y'all ooh.
Yeah, well, hey, that one's kind of gone down in the history books, That was a pretty legendary war. I think they changed the rules after that one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they changed the rules in Bama after that fight, man. That was a war.
Oh, wow, what a throw. And
Jonathan Martin had been setting that up for quite some time. He's establishing full mount here. Wow. This is a hard place to get onto the back of Pat Crumpton when your own back is against the cage, but Jonathan Martin being very smart, trying to set up for that body lock here. But again, knowing that Crumpton, the first time he was in this position, rolled back and went chest to chest. I think Jonathan's doing what he can to avoid that from happening, as he's going to try to swim that left arm under the chin of Pat Crumpton, which he has here. Pat Crumpton doing a very good job in this hand fighting here. Oh, he's got the body lock real tight, and that's an exhausting position to be in.
Man, I hate getting body locked. It's terrible.
Yep.
Especially with somebody with muscular
He's
legs,
slowly
with Jonathan
coming under
Martin.
the chin. He's slowly getting under the chin.
Man, this is not a position I've seen Pat Crumpton in. There is no quitting Pat Crumpton, but this is a tight spot.
And that's going to be it. With 2 minutes left in the 5th round, we have a new Aries Fight Series 155 professional champion, and it is Jonathan Martin. I'll tell you what, he's kind of shocking the world here with this one. This was amazing.
Amazing performance from Jonathan Martin.
I'll tell you what, fellas, I'm just totally shocked at what I just seen. That was incredible.
Yep.
I'll say he probably won all 5 rounds, obviously securing the finish, but
I would say he did too. Taking that 4-1 for Jonathan Martin.
And look, we've got some blood here that rained down on the commentary table. I didn't even realize it.
Yeah, we do actually. This is far from over for Pat Crumpton. I know that this is just going to be a speed bump in the road to victory for Pat Crumpton, as this guy is a warrior.
Oh, he was a great champion, and I mean now Jonathan Martin taking the Aries Fight Series belt back to North Carolina.
Yeah, this night definitely belongs to Jonathan Martin. That was a great performance by him. I don't know how many people can really stop that much onslaught of takedowns from a guy like Pat Crumpton.
Houston and Trevor, listen, this was an honor to, especially, Houston, to see all these fights with you tonight. Trevor, to have you join us. I know you had a great time watching your Agogi teammates. I'm going to grab a word with the new champion. You gentlemen take us off afterwards here, but what an honor to get to call this one with you here tonight.
Great
Good seeing you, man. Good seeing you.
A very happy team from the Carolina Combat, man. You could tell that these guys put in the work for this fight against Pat Crumpton.
Yeah, man, you always love seeing the teams that you can tell that they're all real close and that they all love each other. It makes all this stuff worthwhile. You know, Pat Crumpton, he showed the crazy tenacity that he always does. He's the type of fighter that'll take this loss and
it's going to make him better.
Yeah, he'll be better because of it. Now, how long has it been since Mr. Martin's fought?
It has been some time. I don't know the exact time, but I've heard that from quite a few people that it was a pretty substantial layoff before he was back in. I hope we don't see him another long layoff for him.
Luke Wilson has brought us up to this fight. 2 minutes and 59 seconds into round number 5. Your winner by way of submission due to rear naked choke, and new Aries lightweight champion,
I'll